All set? Here we go.
Yeah.
Twiggy's got her 2 piggies. Alex grooves with his 2 wolves. And Tony has a pony. They're all on the shore of a vast and dangerous river. They need to get across, and there's only one small raft nearby. But it's not as simple as it might seem. There are 5 rules the guys need to follow. Rule number 1, the raft can only carry 2 of them. Number 2, only humans can row. Number 3, piggies can't ride with Alex unless Twiggy's around. Number 4, wolves can't ride with Twiggy without Alex. And finally, number 5, the pony can only ride with Tony. How can they all get across? First, they need Tony on board. He needs to take one of the wolves across. Rules do not ban doing it. When he comes back, Alex takes the second wolf and takes it across the river. Alex goes back alone and takes Twiggy. They go to the other shore, where Twiggy leaves Alex and goes back alone. She gives the raft to Tony and his pony, and they go to the other shore. On the other shore, Alex takes the raft and goes to pick up Twiggy. He picks her up, they go back, and Twiggy leaves Alex there. She goes back to take her pigs one by one. Finally, I thought this was never going to end. Oliver got lost on the road while he was driving, so he found the nearest town and decided to spend a night in a hotel. He went to the buffet. Oliver said he couldn't smell the food because his nose was blocked due to his allergy. Suddenly, the lights went off and everyone fell asleep. The next morning, Oliver had a terrible headache and he couldn't remember anything. Look at these 2 photos from before and after the lights went out. Can you guess what happened? Look, there are some balloons in the first photo and none in the second one. They must have been filled with sleeping gas. Someone wanted everyone asleep. One day, Mary came to work and realized that their office had been robbed. The night guard said he was patrolling when he suddenly heard suspicious noises. When he got there, he saw that the office door was wide open, and so was the safe. The night guard also said that he looked out of the window and noticed someone getting into the car, but the sun blinded him and he couldn't see who it was. Mary instantly went to one of the police officers and said that the guard was lying. Why?
Uh-oh.
Well, there's no sun at night, so it couldn't have blinded him. The night guard must have invented the whole story to cover the criminals. Or is he a criminal himself? Mark is in a trap. He's in a burning room, which the fire will destroy in a minute. The only window in the room is too high. There's nothing in the room to climb on. Mark had no ropes, ladders, or any other devices that could help him. Plus, the door wasn't installed in that room. What should he do to survive? Nobody helped Mark, but he still managed to get out totally unharmed. You see, the door wasn't installed, but there was a doorway. He just left the burning room through it. Tina and Timothy love adventures. This time, they decided to check out an ancient castle that belongs to a powerful witch. The witch can also turn into any object and copy anyone's appearance. In the castle, they used torches to light their way when all of a sudden their torches went out.
Oh no!
Tina got terribly scared, but then suddenly the light came on and she saw 2 husbands of hers in front of her. Can you tell who's her real husband? It's the man on the right. He has 5 fingers, like a real human. The man on the left has 4 fingers. So this must be the witch. An anonymous person called the police and told them that a notorious criminal had come back to the town. The next day, they called the police once again to report the screams they heard coming from an abandoned house. The police rushed there. They broke in and saw 3 tied-up men. They thought that one of them must have been the criminal. One of the officers said he knew exactly who the criminal was. Can you spot them? Look at the man on the left. Can you see a phone in his pocket? A criminal would never let any of the victims use the phone. Take him, officer. Miles is a successful businessman. One day, he posted a vacancy on a website. He was looking for a new assistant. The new assistant was supposed to speak Chinese and Spanish. Pete saw that ad and called his wife Mary. That position would be just perfect for her, as she spoke both those languages. Mary dialed the phone number from the ad immediately. In reality, Miles didn't need an assistant, but he still hired Mary. Why? Mary seems to be having an affair with Miles. Did you notice that Miles' number was saved in Mary's phone? Miles posted this vacancy on purpose to cover up their affair. 3 men were sitting around a table drinking coffee. They all look alike, but only 2 of them are brothers, and the third one just doesn't belong here because he's an alien. Who is it? It's the man sitting on the right. He's got 12 fingers. Yeah, the one sitting in the center has a weird ear shape, but look at the family portrait on the wall. His dad had the very same ears, too. Gabrielle is a shop assistant in a department store. At the moment, there are 3 people in the fitting room she's assisting. It's Jessica, the girl wearing a green dress, Sean, a man wearing a leather jacket and skinny jeans, and Alex, the man who's currently taking a larger pair of jeans that Gabrielle brought him. One of the clients is an alien. Gabrielle has to figure out who it is. It's Alex. Take a closer look at his feet. Only a reptile or an alien can have such feet. You find yourself trapped in a medieval castle, far away from civilization. Boy, are you on a bad vacation. You can't jump out of the window because it's too high above the ground. The only tree growing near the window doesn't look sturdy enough for you to climb down. However, there are 3 doors, one of which can lead you to freedom. But behind the first door, there's a fierce fire. The second door holds back hundreds of venomous snakes. And behind the third door, there's a pitch-dark maze, and you can only imagine what surprises are waiting for you there. Which door should you choose? The third. You'll just need to break off a tree branch, turn it into a torch by lighting it in the first room, and go through the maze. It won't be dark now. Kate was in her hotel room when someone knocked on the door. She opened the door and saw a stranger. He apologized and said that he thought it was his room. When he walked away, she instantly called hotel security. Why did Kate get suspicious? The stranger said he thought it was his room, but if it was really so, he wouldn't have knocked on the door. Robert is a manager at a large international company in London. His boss decided to send Robert on a business trip to New York to find new clients. So the company gave Robert a large sum of money to sponsor the trip. A week later, Robert FaceTimed his boss and said he was in New York, but unfortunately, he didn't manage to find new clients. The boss didn't believe him. Why? The wall clock in the boss's room shows the very same time Robert's wall clock does. But there's a time difference between London and New York, so Robert must be lying about the trip.
Get ready for a tough but very fun riddles competition. Take whatever helps you activate your logical skills. A magnifying glass, a deerstalker hat, or a notebook. And let's get rolling. Let's warm up with some easy stuff. Can you find a vampire among these emojis? Here it is. Ugh, creepy. How about this crowd of people? Can you spot a vampire hiding among them? It is this girl. Look at how sharp her teeth are. And one more riddle for you. Which of these people is a vampire? See those fang marks on the neck of that guy? He was bitten and has already turned into a vampire himself. Stephen was found unconscious in his living room on a Sunday evening. Someone had hit him on the head. The man was rushed to a hospital while the police started questioning the suspects. There were 3 of them: Stephen's ex-wife, his neighbor, and his younger brother. Stephen's ex-wife said she'd been walking in the park with her little niece all day. Stephen's neighbor said she'd wanted to go on a date with her boyfriend, but since it had been raining heavily, they decided to stay at home. And Stephen's younger brother said he'd been at work, finishing a large project. It was so important he had to work even on weekends. The police figured out who the attacker was quite fast. Can you do the same? It was Stephen's ex-wife. It had been raining heavily all day long. Who would walk in the park with a little kid in such weather? A criminal has kidnapped your friend and tied him to a tree. A huge, vicious dog is guarding this tree. You need to save your friend at night. But when you come to that place, you only have one piece of meat with you. It's not big enough to distract the dog for the 3 minutes you need to cut the ropes and help your friend escape. How can you solve this problem? Cut the meat into small pieces and throw them all over the garden. And while the dog is distracted, set your friend free. One day, Amy went on a date with her boyfriend Joe to a nice restaurant. Joe gave her flowers and candy. They had a great meal and enjoyed the date. But in the morning, Amy woke up with a severe allergic reaction. She went to the hospital, where she was told that she had been poisoned. But to figure out what antidote Amy needed, it was crucial to understand the source of the poison. The detective invited to investigate the case questioned everyone who could poison the girl, her boyfriend, the cook, and Amy's friend Cindy. Joe said that they'd eaten the same food in the restaurant. The cook said that he had brought Amy her pizza, and it had been freshly made. And Cindy said she thought Amy's boyfriend had poisoned her. She added that he had asked her what flowers Amy liked to gain Amy's trust. Have you realized who poisoned the girl? It was Cindy. Have you noticed the book on her table? It was about poisonous flowers. She advised Joe to give Amy flowers that would cause health problems. One company organized a betting game where one red and one blue marble were placed in a dark box. If a player picked the blue marble, the company had to pay them $5,000. But if the player guessed it wrong, they had to pay the company $100. The company cheated by always putting in the box 2 red marbles instead of 1 red and 1 blue, but no one could prove it. Mark was observing people lose one after another. Then he took part in the game and won. How did he do it? The man picked a marble, and quickly put it in his mouth without showing the thing to anyone else. The remaining marble was red. According to the rules, it meant that Mark's marble was blue. The company had to pay him the money. Now, you need to pay attention to every little detail. Can you figure out whose dog it is? Look at that guy wearing a red jacket. See that leash he's holding? It matches the dog's collar, so most likely he's the owner. This parrot has managed to sneak away from its owner, and now the vet is looking for them. Can you say whose bird this is? The owner is that woman sitting on the couch. There's a cage behind her. Another waiting room at the vet. And whose Sphinx cat is this cutie? See that guy waiting for the doctor to bring back his pet? He's surrounded by lots of furry animals and can't stop sneezing. He must be allergic to fur. That's why he got himself a Sphinx kitty. And whose horse is this? See that girl standing in line? She's the only one wearing riding boots. She must be the owner. These kids seem to be terrified. No wonder. See that white rat darting around the classroom? Who does it belong to? It's that girl who's checking her backpack. You can see a cage and some rodent food inside. Oh, look at this cutie. What do you think? Who does this mini pig belong to? This guy is the owner. His outfit matches the scarf the pig is wearing. How sweet is that? And whose hedgehog is this? This lady is the owner. She's wearing special gloves to handle the animal.
Yes!
And who does this absolutely adorable pug belong to? Its owner is this guy. If you look attentively, you'll notice a pug tattoo on his leg. Lily came home and saw her favorite vase shattered. Extremely upset, she exclaimed, "What's happened to my vase?" Her husband Sam explained that around lunchtime, he heard a loud crash from their bedroom. He rushed there and saw that Lily's expensive vase had been broken, and a robber was running away. Sam followed the man outside, but his glasses got foggy because of the cold weather. That's why he missed the man. Lily called the police, but after police officers heard the whole story, they refused to investigate this case. Why? Glasses fog up when you enter a warm place, not vice versa. Sam invented the story because he was afraid to admit he had been the one to break the vase.
Oh.
Emma's husband Liam knew his wife had been dreaming of going to an archaeological site. One day, she told him about the perfect opportunity. There was a remote site ready to be excavated, but there was no internet or network connection there. She would have to camp in a tent with almost no modern conveniences. But since she was really excited about this trip, Liam was ready to wait for her at home. 2 days later, Liam received a message and a photo from Emma. The man got furious. He realized Emma had been lying about the whole thing. How did he understand it? Before leaving, Emma told her husband there was no internet connection or cell phone reception there. Then how did she manage to send him the photo? Several bank workers visited a canteen in their office building. Since it was the Riddle Day, Matthew, Isaac, and Wyatt were served tea, and Hunter, Christian, and Nathan drank coffee. What drink did Aaron get? Aaron drank tea simply because of his double-letter name. A man with a bandage around his head came to a police station. "I was hitchhiking when a car stopped. The driver asked me to check if one of the tires was flat. I bent over to look, and he hit me on the head. When I regained consciousness, I found out he had taken all my money and smartphone. I only remember that the guy had a big car, large eyebrows, and a mustache. Soon the police had a suspect. They found him in a cafe, but this man said it couldn't be him. He changed the tires on his car 2 weeks ago. And since then, the car had been parked near the cafe, but the detective realized the man was lying right away. How? There's a no parking sign near the cafe. No car could be staying there for 2 weeks. Isabella is standing behind Mia, but at the same time, Mia is also standing behind Isabella. How is it possible? The girls are standing with their backs turned toward each other. Mrs. Red was a big boss in a large company. Recently, she hired a few new employees. One day, her assistant was filling out their documents and found something strange.
What?
She informed Mrs. Red that one of the new employees seemed to have fake documents. But the boss was in a hurry and told the assistant that she'd have a look at the papers the next day.
Yeah.
But the next day, Mrs. Red found out that her assistant was in a hospital, unconscious.
Oh my god.
Someone had attacked her on her way to work. Mrs. Red hurried to check the new employee's documents, look at them and try to figure out which ID is fake. This ID card claims that Edward is 34 years old, but the man using this document is way older.
Oh.
It was an extremely hot day. Police Officer Black was driving along a countryside road. Suddenly, he noticed a hitchhiker on the side of the road and stopped to give him a ride. The man explained that he had been waiting for someone to pick him up for more than 2 hours and offered the officer some ice cream. Black refused and asked the guy about a gang of criminals who had just robbed a jewelry store. The hitchhiker exclaimed, "I've just seen a red car speeding past me. Must have been the robbers, but they were driving in the opposite direction. We'll need to turn back." Black didn't believe him and took him to the police station. How did the police officer guess the hitchhiker was a criminal? If the hitchhiker had indeed been standing on the side of the road for 2 hours, the ice cream would have already melted. So, he lied to lead Black the wrong way. Oliver has in mind one of 3 numbers: 1, 2, or 3. Charlotte is allowed to ask him just one question to figure out which number it is. Oliver can answer her question only with no, yes, and I can't say. Which question should Charlotte ask? She can say, "I have the number 1 or 2 in mind. Is your number larger than my number?" If Oliver answers yes, it means he's chosen 3. If he answers, "I can't say," the number he has in mind is 2. And if he says no, his number is 1. Several people were asked to step over a pencil lying on the floor, but none of them managed to do it. Why? The pencil was placed near the wall. Who doesn't like rebus puzzles? They're fun, and I've got a few tricky ones for you. Enjoy! What does it mean? It's misunderstood. Try to crack this one. So we see pot and 8 O's. Together, they make potatoes. And how about this one? That's high five. A small hint. The arrangement of these letters is important. This rebus means, hurry up! And one more puzzle for you. What could it mean? It's a friend in need. A hungry vampire is following you on a deserted street one dark night. Suddenly, you see a house with its door open and hide there. The vampire can't enter your shelter, but is patiently waiting outside. However, you still have some hope. There are 3 tunnels leading out of the house. But inside the first tunnel, there is molten lava. The walls of the second tunnel keep closing every 10 seconds, crushing everything that gets inside. And the floorboards of the third tunnel collapse every 5 seconds, sending everything lying on them into an abyss. What should you do? Just wait till the morning. Vampires can't stand daylight, and your pursuer will have to leave you alone.
Yes!
Miss Jenkins invited her friends over. There was only one problem. Her friends eat a lot, so she knew she needed to bake 6 pies. At some point, she lost track of time and realized there was little time left. How can she cope in 15 minutes if only 4 pies are placed in the pan, and a pie should be baked for 5 minutes on each side? Here's how she can do that. She puts 4 pies for 5 minutes and turns over 2 pies. Then she removes 2 pies and puts 2 new ones, not yet fried, once again for 5 minutes. Next, she removes 2 pies, turns 2 of them, and puts 2 underdone ones from the first batch, which will take 5 minutes. Bon appetit! Water lilies grow in the pond. They multiply quite quickly, doubling the area of distribution every day. In 48 days, the pond will be completely covered with water lilies. In how many days will the water lilies cover half the pond? It's 47 days, not 24. If the number of water lilies doubles every day, then it takes them 48 days to cover the entire pond. It's logical that they will occupy half the pond the day before that. Mr. Richardson, a math professor, decided to treat his friends to his signature vegetable salad. To do this, he needed 3 bell peppers and the same number of tomatoes. He also needed fewer cucumbers than tomatoes, but more than radishes. How many vegetables did the professor use in the salad? Mr. Richardson used 9 veggies, 3 bell peppers, 3 tomatoes, 2 cucumbers, and 1 radish. There were 3 rabbits in the cage. 3 girls asked for 1 rabbit each. Each girl was given a rabbit, and yet there was still 1 rabbit left in the cage. How did it happen? One girl was given a rabbit along with the cage. A man jumped out of a plane without a parachute. He landed on solid ground, but remained unharmed. Why? The plane was on the ground. The satellite makes 1 revolution around the Earth in 1 hour 40 minutes. Yet the same one can make 1 revolution in only 100 minutes. How can it be so? "100 minutes is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Gotcha! 8 twin brothers escaped to a country house for the weekend, and each found something to his liking. The first one is busy picking apples. The second one goes fishing. The third one heats the sauna. The fourth one plays chess with his brother. The fifth one cooks dinner. The sixth one watches a series on a laptop all day. The seventh one discovers the artist in himself and paints the surrounding landscapes. What is the 8th brother doing at this time? Well, he plays chess with the fourth brother. One woman lived in a 12-room apartment. She had a clock in every room. One Saturday evening, at the end of October, she changed all her clocks to wintertime and went to bed. When she woke up the next morning, she found that only 2 dials showed the correct time. Why? Ten of the 12 clocks were electronic. During the night, there was a power surge and the clocks went off. And only 2 were mechanical, so they showed the correct time the next morning. Jack and John are best buddies, and they're both philosophers. Therefore, sometimes the way they speak may be pretty bizarre for common people. "Let's have dinner together when the day after tomorrow becomes yesterday," said John. "Today will be as far from Sunday as the day that was today when the day before yesterday was tomorrow." What day of the week did he speak about? It's Sunday. Luckily, Jack could easily interpret what his friend wanted to say, so they had a nice dinner together. There are 20 people on the bus. At the first stop, 2 people got off and 3 people got in. At the next one, 1 got off and 4 got in. At the next, 5 got off and 2 got in. At the next, 2 got off and 1 got in. At the next, 9 got off and no one got in. At the next, 2 more came out. How many stops were there? There were 6 stops. Samantha and Julie wanted to have a peaceful Sunday afternoon. They decided to have a hot air balloon ride and headed to the park. The instructor offered them to choose which one they wanted to ride, a blue one, a green one, or a yellow one. Samantha loves the blue one. No surprise. Look at her clothes. And Julie wants to go for the green one. Which girl isn't very attentive? Samantha. The color isn't that important. There's no sandbags. You want to have a safe ride, don't you? Somebody was stealing important documents from the office. The guards didn't see anyone. Neither did the secretary. The boss decided to install the security cameras to find out who was doing it. They checked the footage carefully and found out who it was. Can you guess? It's the man in the white shirt. When he went out of the office, he had 2 folders in his hand. At the beginning of the day, he had only 1. Which number is missing? 4, 5, 6. 4, 5. The number 7 is missing. The subsequent number of 456 is 457. Imagine you've just entered a pitch-black room. There's an oil lamp, a newspaper, and some wood kindling inside the room. You have only 1 match. You have to make a tough choice. What to light first? The oil lamp is definitely a good choice, but it's still incorrect. First of all, you'll need to light the match. Ted Thompson, who didn't really like modern art, rushed into the city gallery and caused millions of dollars worth of damage to several paintings. Yet, the manager of the gallery thanked Mr. Thompson for his actions. How come? Ted was a firefighter. The water from his hose damaged several masterpieces, but he still managed to extinguish the fire and save many more exhibits. Once upon a time, in a spooky forest, there were 7 trolls who were all brothers. They were all born 3 years apart. The youngest troll is 100 years old now. How old is his oldest brother? He's 118. Looking good for that age. A man wakes up in a place he's never been before. He rushes to the exit and sees two doors. When he opens the first door, he sees that the hall is made of magnifying glass. The scorching hot sun fries anyone who enters in no time. Behind a second door, a huge dragon breathing with fire is sleeping. But anyone who enters this hall risks waking it up immediately.
Uh-oh.
How does he escape safely? He needs to wait for dusk, so there's no sun, and he can easily get out of that place. Detective Cooper needed to find out the very last piece of missing information in the case he's been dealing with lately. He finally got to the office where secret documents were hidden. To open the door, he needs to choose the right button. There are three of them, a yellow one, a green one, and a blue one. Which one should the detective choose? The detective needs to choose the blue button. It's pretty worn out, so it must have been used many times. Plus, there's a small note with a warning. The green button is for emergency, and the yellow one shuts all the doors and turns off the light in the whole building. One day, Amanda thought her boyfriend hid a secret from her. To find out what it was, she needed to get access to his laptop. She had no idea what the password was, but there was a post-it note right on his desk. However, she needed to decipher the pass. Apple, man, Dawn. Can you crack this code? Right, it's Amanda. Her name is the code. By the way, the secret he was hiding was the birthday present Eric was choosing for her. Hey, never do what Amanda did. It's pretty mean to snoop on someone.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived Henry, a young farmer. That year, his crops were all wilting, and he didn't know what to do. So he went to the village's wise lady to ask for advice. She said she'll help him only if he can answer her riddle correctly. What goes through towns and over hills but never moves? Can you help Henry out? The answer is a road. And that is where you must head to, said the wise lady. You'll need to find the nature fairy. Only she can give you the magic seed that will help heal your farmland. But where can I find her? Henry asked. She said, the answer you seek is in this riddle. I am a monument of the ages, ever-changing but always the same, dangerous to conquer yet luring explorers. What am I? The answer is a mountain. Henry went back to pack for the journey ahead. Take a look around his house. Which item should he take with him? Food and water are a must. The journey might take longer than expected. Can't forget about the matches, both to stay warm and to cook. He should pack this rope too, since he's going on a mountain road and all. This compass is also a must-pack. It'll help him find his way and stay on track. Next, Henry visited the stables to get a horse for his journey. The horse keeper showed him 3 different horses. Which one should he choose? Let's take a look at the white horse first. He looks a bit tired and old, doesn't he? So he might not find the energy to complete the journey ahead. As for the brown horse, did you notice that there is something wrong with his front left leg? He needs to pay a visit to the horse doctor. So the black horse will be the best companion for Henry. Henry and his black horse started their dangerous journey to find the nature fairy. They needed to head north toward the mountain. After the village road ended, they came across a junction. The brick road would lead them to a haunted ghost town. The dirt road would lead them to a sea with freezing cold waters. And the stone road would lead them to a swamp that swallows all who go there. Which one should he choose? He should choose the second road, because it's not like he needs to enter the freezing cold waters and swim. He and his horse can just walk on the beach toward their destination. After a few days of traveling, Henry and his horse arrived at a strange kingdom. Little did they know that the king was not so fond of trespassers. He invited Henry to his castle. He said, "No stranger can enter my kingdom without my permission, nor can they leave. But I like you, so I'll give you a chance to impress me. Ask me a riddle, and if I like what I hear, I might consider letting you go." After thinking for a couple of minutes, Henry came up with this riddle. "I am a fiery sphere that reigns supreme, the center of all, an eternal dream. I give light and warmth to all below, but can also bring destruction with my glow. This celestial power above, what am I?" Can you guess the answer to Henry's riddle? It's the sun. "Impressive," said the king, "but I've changed my mind. I have one more challenge for you." Then the king ordered his servants to bring 3 different bowls. The first bowl had 2 venomous scorpions and 3 gold bars in it. The second bowl had 2 gold bars in it, and it was filled with a toxic potion that would burn Henry's flesh. And the third bowl had 1 gold bar in it, and it was filled with boiling hot water. Also, Henry was allowed to take the gold bars if he could. Which bowl should he put his hand in? He should pick the third bowl, because even though the other bowls have more gold bars in them, it's not worth the risk. He should just wait for the boiling water to cool off and grab the gold bar. After the king let Henry and his horse go, they continued their journey toward the mountain. To reach there, they had to cross the desert. However, at nighttime, an unexpected sandstorm hit, and they had to find a way to stay safe. They could run away from the sandstorm, they could hide behind these giant rocks, or they could hide inside the dried riverbed. What should they do? There's no escaping the wind speed of any sandstorm by simply running away. Henry and his horse are not that fast. As for the riverbed, it's too low. It can quickly get filled with sand. So the best thing to do would be to hide behind the giant rocks. Henry and his horse were close to their destination. There was only a forest to cross between them and the mountain. But take a look around the forest. Do you notice something weird? The trees far ahead are moving and changing places. So yeah, this was not a normal forest. Magical trees made it very hard to find a way out of there, and Henry's compass was no help. So they got lost. After walking for hours without any direction, they finally saw a small cottage. They knocked on the door to ask for help. An evil troll opened it. He immediately turned Henry into a toad, tied his horse, and left the house. To find a way to return to his human form, Henry hopped to the troll's spell book and found the potion recipe for reversing the spell. However, the last ingredient was encrypted. Can you tell what that is? The answer is 10 pieces of fingernails. Henry was human again, and he freed his horse, but they still had to find a way to escape the forest. Can you see anything inside the troll's cottage that might help them? take a look at the poster on the wall that has photos and names of magical gemstones. According to it, this pink gemstone is for magical transportation. And to their luck, the troll has one sitting on his bookshelf, so they should use it to get out of the forest. Henry and his horse were finally out of the forest. The nature fairy was living inside one of the caves at the top of the mountain, and the only way there was through one of these 3 mazes. Too bad the transportation gemstone was for single use only. Now take a look at all 3 of the mazes. The fairy's cave is at the end of the maze with the longest way. Can you tell which one that is? It's the first one. When they entered the cave, the nature fairy greeted them. Henry explained everything to her, and she agreed to help if only he answered her riddle correctly. I'm the part of the bird that's not in the sky. I can swim in the ocean and yet remain dry. What am I? The answer is a bird's shadow. After Henry answered the fairy's riddle, she gave him 3 different pouches. Each of them contained 1 seed and a note with 2 statements. The fairy said, "In one of the pouches, both statements are false, and in the other 2, both statements are true. You'll have to figure out which one pouch contains the real magic seed on your own." The statements on the first note were 1. Don't plant this seed. 2. Plant the seed from the second pouch. The statements on the second note were 1. Don't plant the seed from the first pouch. 2. Plant the seed from the third pouch. And the statements on the third note were 1. Don't plant this seed. 2. Plant the seed from the first pouch. Which seed should Henry plant? He should plant the seed inside the third pouch. And that's all I got. So hey, remember to stay on the bright side.
Billy is a young and ambitious blogger. She's shooting a makeup tutorial for her TikTok. Can you spot anything odd here? The mirror in the background should reflect her back, not her front part. Billy gets an invitation to visit a meetup for famous influencers. This party is epic. Good music, delicious food, and beautiful people. Moreover, every VIP guest gets a bag full of expensive gifts. Suddenly, Billy sees Sebastian. He's a famous video blogger with 20 million followers. And her secret crush. Can you guess which one of these guys is Sebastian? The first guy looks pretty chic, but he has a fake bag, so it's unlikely that he's an influencer. Let's take a look at the remaining 2 guys. Sebastian has millions of followers. Therefore, he's 100% a VIP guest. Only the third guy carries the gift bag, so he's Sebastian. Billy and Sebastian fall in love, but they want to keep it a secret. That's why they spend a romantic weekend in a forest cabin away from the paparazzi. But unfortunately, someone leaked their picture, and now all the tabloids discuss their secret date. Only 3 people knew about this trip. Billy questions them. Harry, the driver, says, "I brought you to the cabin on Saturday and picked you up on Sunday, just like you asked. I didn't tell anyone because I signed a non-disclosure agreement." Billy's assistant, Amy, says, "I booked the cabin under my own name so that no one would figure out that you're hosting celebrities." And Sebastian's sister, Bianca, says, "I didn't tell anyone about your date. I was feeling sick. I had to stay home alone because my daughters were at school." Who's lying? Bianca, schools are closed on weekends. A new spa salon invites Billy over for a promotion campaign. She goes to the pedicure room and sees these 3 clients. One of them is a werewolf. Can you guess who? It's the second lady. Take a look at her feet. After the sauna, Billy goes to the shower and washes her hair. Unfortunately, someone pranked her by replacing the shampoo with paint. Can you guess who did it? The lady on the right is guilty. There's paint on her hand. Billy decides to eat in her favorite restaurant. She enters and sees these three guys. Can you guess who's having a date? It looks like the first guy is having a romantic dinner with his book. And the third gentleman has one set of dishes. Meanwhile, the second guy has 2 plates on his table and he's hiding a small gift in his pocket. So he's the only one who's waiting for his date. Sebastian invites Billy to a family dinner to introduce her to his mother, Prudence. They arrive and find her in the middle of a quarrel with the police. Prudence claims that her housemaid stole her antique pearl necklace, but the housemaid denies everything. Who's lying? Prudence. The pearls are in her hair. The next day, Billy goes hiking with her friends. They take some pictures for her blog. Can you spot 3 differences between these photos? Over here. What about these 2 pictures? Can you find 5 differences? Here they are. Billy meets her old friends. They haven't seen each other for 5 years. Billy has to make a quick phone call, and she walks outside. In a couple of minutes, she comes back and sees her friend Luna lying unconscious on the bathroom floor. There's a weird mark on her cheek. The waitress says that it looks like a vampire's bite. One of Billy's friends must have turned into a vampire. She decides to invite her friends for lunch to find out who exactly. Guys, let's have a picnic on the beach tomorrow and discuss who bit Luna. How can Billy identify the vampire? Billy should invite her friends to the beach. The one who would refuse to go there must be a vampire. Billy throws a birthday party at her house. She only eats plants. That's why she hires the most trendy cook to prepare a classy vegetarian dinner. The party goes great. Everyone has fun. The next day, Billy finds out that someone had replaced salt and sugar in her kitchen jars. Billy questions 4 suspects. The cook says, "Miss, I wouldn't have become a celebrity chef if I wasted my time on silly pranks." Dan says, "I gorged myself on chicken nuggets at the very beginning of the party, and then I stayed away from the kitchen and the food." Emma says, "I think I saw someone rummaging through the kitchen when I was swimming in the pool." And Sebastian says, "That wasn't me, but you should check everyone's phones. The prankster probably filmed everything." Who's lying? Damn, it was a veggie party. He couldn't have eaten the chicken nuggets. Billy wants to find her new business partners, so she's visiting a conference and meets 3 people. Each person offers Billy a collaboration. Megan says, "I developed my own fashion line and I've recently launched my first offline boutique. Would you like to be the face of my brand?" Jeanette says, "I run the largest marketing company in the country. If you sign an exclusive contract with me, I'll find the best deals for you." And Francois says, "Lady, you should sell beauty products under your own name. I can help you launch a business." Only one of these offers isn't fake. Can you guess which one? Take a closer look at Francois. He has stolen someone else's badge, so he's an imposter. And Jeanette is wearing a waitress uniform under her fancy jacket. It's unlikely that she's a company owner, so Billy should trust Megan. The next week, Megan invites Billy to a photo shoot. Billy arrives at the studio, but the door is locked. She needs to enter a 5-number code. Her phone battery has discharged, and unfortunately, she doesn't remember the code by heart. Do you have any clue what it might be? We should take a look at this poster and count the number of petals in each daisy. So the code is 58677. Billy enters the studio and sees Megan, the photographer and stylist, and a bunch of pretty clothes and shoes. Can you count the exact number of shoes in this picture? The correct answer is 13. 4 people are wearing 8 shoes, plus 5 more are scattered around the studio. The photo shoot is about to begin, but suddenly the lights turn off for 30 seconds. When the power is back again, Billy finds out that her smartwatch is missing. She questions 3 suspects. The stylist says, "I was cleaning my makeup sponge when the lights turned off. I didn't move from my place." The photographer says, "I have my own smartwatch. Why would I need yours?" And Megan says, "Come on, you're a famous influencer. Why would I ruin my own reputation?" Who's lying? The photographer. Billy's watch is wrapped around his camera lens. After work, Billy meets Sebastian in their favorite restaurant. They ask the waiter to take their picture. He takes 2. Can you spot 10 differences between them? Here they are. After dinner, they go for a walk. Can you spot 3 odd things here? Fish swim on the surface of this window. Also, this lady is wearing a snake instead of a scarf. And this taxi is driven by a raccoon. There's a historical medieval castle where the legend says lived a beautiful princess and a werewolf. One day, a lonely tourist walks in there to take some photos. To his surprise, the princess is actually there. She greets him, but says the werewolf hates any visitors, so she has to hide him. She then takes him to a secret room in the basement and locks the door. However, when she checks on him the next day, she sees that he's turned into a werewolf too. How did the werewolf find out about him? The princess is the werewolf. After a long day at work, Jamie arrived home only to find a burglar had broken into his house. Once he headed to his bedroom, he realized that the burglar was actually still inside his house. How did he figure that out? Take a look at the t-shirt that's hanging on the handle of his wardrobe. It keeps moving slightly. However, the windows are shut and the air conditioner is off, so there's no way any wind may be causing that. It must be the thief hiding inside the wardrobe. Check if Jamie is still in the room or not. Carrie is invited to a spooky-themed costume party. When she arrives there, she sees 3 people dressed as ghosts, but 2 of them are actually real ghosts. Can you tell who's human? Do you see the first lady? She has no shadow despite the light coming from her back. So she must be a real ghost. And notice that the light just passes through the arm of the third guy? He must be a real ghost too. So the second lady is human. The police department called Inspector Kim to solve a robbery case. The thief was last seen entering the graveyard with the sack of gold he had stolen from the jewelry store. They were able to catch the robber, but he was not revealing where he'd hidden the gold. Inspector Kim headed to the graveyard to investigate the scene, and he immediately found where the robber hid the gold. Can you? Take a look at the dates on these 3 gravestones. The second and the third look normal, but the first gravestone says this person lived from 1860 to 2020, and that's impossible. So, that must be some cover the robber made to bury and hide all the gold. The police officers called Inspector Kim for duty once again when 3 houses all next to each other were robbed on the main street. Inspector Kim questioned the owners of each of the houses to see if they'd seen something suspicious. The first man said he had not been inside his house when the thief broke in. The second man said he had been on the second floor listening to music with his headphones on, so he hadn't heard anything. And the third man said he'd been taking a shower, so he hadn't heard anything either. Inspector Kim could immediately tell that one of them was lying. Can you? It's the second man. He said he was on the second floor, but the house is a 1-story house. Aaron was traveling on his motorcycle when he came across 3 different roads. The first one goes through a forest where all kinds of wild animals are waiting for their prey. The second road is the shortest, but it's all pitch black. And the third road goes through the river where the current of the water is extremely high. Which road should he choose? The answer is the second road, of course. He's driving his motorcycle, remember? He can easily use its headlight to see around and find his way. Lee and his best friend are trapped inside a haunted house for the night because a sudden snowstorm overtook the creepy town. All the doors and windows have become barricaded with piles of snow. Lee and his friends need to find a way to stay warm. After searching the entire house, they find 3 stoves: a coal stove, a wooden stove, and a gas stove. However, they have only 1 match. What should they light first to survive the night? The match, of course. Take a look around this house. There are 3 signs that suggest it's being haunted. Can you spot them? Do you see that some invisible hand is writing something on the foggy window? Then there's a cat, which is acting scared, although it seems like there's nothing in front of it. And lastly, this statue is blinking. Allison was suspecting that her house was being haunted. After she did some research on the best Ghostbusters and monster hunters in the city, she brought down her options to 3. Take a look at the newspaper ads of all 3 of them. Which one should she choose? The Ghostbuster in the photo is posing with the zombie he caught. But take a closer look at the zombie's arm here. You can see his real human skin peeking through. That means he's actually wearing makeup, and he's not a real zombie. As for the third Ghostbuster posing with the ghost he caught, do you see the hologram machine behind him? That means he's also faking it. So, the best option is the second Ghostbuster, who is not posing with any kind of monster and is not trying to trick anyone. After the Ghostbuster arrived at Allison's house, they started checking on all the rooms together. Once they entered the bathroom, the Ghostbuster immediately knew that the ghost was hiding there. How did she do it? Do you see the footprints on the floor? But Allison was wearing her house slippers all this time, and the Ghostbuster had her shoes on. So those definitely don't belong to either of them, which can only mean they belong to the ghost. Florence went to the clothing store to buy herself a new dress. As she was waiting for her turn to use the dressing rooms, her eyes caught 2 strange-looking people who were also doing some shopping. However, it seemed like one of them was actually a ghost. Can you tell which one? Take a look at their reflections in the mirror behind them. The First Lady's reflections look perfectly fine, But the second lady's reflection shows her face and everything, whereas it's supposed to show her back, so she must be a ghost. Caitlin was driving to her parents' house across the country, but on the way, she took a wrong turn and lost her way. She ended up on some narrow and lonely road. Suddenly, a security guard stopped her and said, "You're on private-owned farmlands, so I can't let you pass. But I'll direct you to the main road if you answer my riddle. I protect the crops, I stand tall, and my purpose is to strike fear in all. What am I?" The answer is a scarecrow. Danny was sitting at the bench enjoying his drink when he saw 3 people coming out of the sea. However, something about them felt strange to him. One of them was actually a sea monster. Can you tell who? It's this third guy. Do you see his footprints on the sand? They start out as a weird webbed foot shape, only to turn into a human footprint later. Friendly Ghost Casper's father had 3 sons. The names of 2 of them were Stretchy and Stinky. What was the third son called? He was called Casper, of course. Danny got lost in the woods, and he was feeling very tired and hungry. After a while, he finally came across a house that was made of candies. He couldn't resist and took a bite from it. At that moment, a witch appeared and said,
"How dare you eat my house? I will punish you unless you answer this riddle correctly. Ancient knowledge few can know. In the night is where I roam. Vermin I grab in my flight. No one can hide from my sight. What am I?"
The correct answer is an owl. Izzy wants to open a cozy hotel in the countryside. She asks her agent to find a property that meets her goals perfectly. The agent offers 4 options, but only one of them is trustworthy. Can you help Izzy make the right decision? The first house looks pretty rich and fancy, but the ceiling and the walls are covered with mold. According to the description, the third building will only be finished by 2055. And the fourth hotel is located next to a toxic factory, so Izzy should pick the second property. Izzy heads to Rose Valley to see a property for herself, but unfortunately, it starts raining heavily, and Izzy crashes into a tree. She's fine, but her car is broken. Izzy walks through the woods and finds an abandoned mansion nearby. She enters it to hide from the rain. Suddenly, the gate shuts down behind her. Izzy wanders around the house for a while and finds 3 doors leading outside. But each way has hidden dangers. There's a waterfall of toxic acid behind the first door. There's a pool with hungry piranhas behind the second door. And the third route is filled with fire. Which door should Izzy choose? The third one. We mentioned that the doors lead outside the castle. It's been raining heavily in the woods, so the fire was gone long ago. The next morning, Izzy finally arrives at Rose Valley, and she spots 5 odd things about this place right away. Can you see them too? The house numbering is mirrored. There's a small crocodile crawling around the trash bin. The aircraft in the sky is moving backwards. The stop sign is hanging upside down. And finally, this woman waters her flowers with bleach. Izzy decides to taste the local bakery. One Dutch pretzel costs $4.05, and for the price of one 8-shaped bagel is $3. Also, they give away buns for free. Can you calculate the price of one donut? One donut will cost $1.50. This bakery takes $1.50 per hole. And this classic donut only has one hole. The cook brings in a fresh tray with strawberry tartlets. Can you spot which tartlet is different from the others? Each tartlet has 7 strawberries, except for this one. Izzy likes the local hotel and decides to buy the property. It belongs to Sheila, a rich and egocentric young lady. Sheila offers Izzy a deal. I'll give you a 50% discount if you can guess which one of these guys is my boyfriend. Can you help Izzy spot the right guy? It's the man on the left. They have tickets to the same event. Izzy and Sheila go to the local bank to close the deal. 3 managers greet them at the entrance, but one of these workers is an imposter. Can you guess who? Take a closer look at the bank logo. The second guy's badge matches the logo perfectly. The third lady doesn't wear any badges, but maybe she's left it on the desk. But the first gentleman has a fake logo on his badge. Therefore, he's the imposter. The next day, Izzy greets her first visitor. It's Bill. He asks her to hire him and tells Izzy his story. I was kidnapped and locked in a room. I found a note from the criminal. It said, put $5,000 under the door. I'll come to pick them up in the evening and then give you the key. But I didn't have $1, only an expired credit card. However, I managed to get out. How? Bill used his card to push the tongue of the lock back and opened the door. In his college years, Bill was very shy. He desperately wished to find a soulmate. Bill used to visit different places to meet as many ladies as possible. And then one day, he entered a coffee shop and saw a stranger. He fell in love with her right away. Bill got the nerve up and asked her out on a date. She said, "I'll go if you guess my name," and handed him this clue. Today, this lady is Bill's wife. What's her name? Eve. 31st of December is New Year's Eve. Izzy likes Bill and she's ready to hire him. I only have one last riddle for you. There are 15 birds sitting on a fence and you throw something at one of them. How many are left? None. The rest would have flown away. The next morning, Izzy enters the hotel lobby and sees a welcoming fruit basket. The sender is unknown. Only 3 people are in the hotel today: Mike, Bill, and Jeff. Izzy questions them. Mike says, I arrived here first and spent all the time fixing the roof. Bill says, I mowed the lawn and the garden, so I didn't see who brought the basket. And Jeff says, I was checking the pipes in the hotel room. Everything's fine, by the way. Who's lying? Bill. He said he had mowed the lawn, but the grass is still very tall. Repair works are over, and Izzy throws an opening party in her new hotel. There, she meets Peter, who falls in love with her right away. Izzy decides to challenge his intelligence and offers him a riddle. What word is spelled wrong in every dictionary? Peter doesn't know the answer. What about you? The word wrong is spelled wrong in every dictionary. The next day, 3 tourists arrive at the hotel and check in. Can you guess which guy is her boyfriend? This one. They have the same t-shirts. Izzy meets 3 hotel guests in the dining hall: Lily, Frank, and Kitty. One of them has recently lost all their money. Can you guess who? Lily's sandals don't look neat, but it doesn't prove anything. Although Frank looks messy too, he has many expensive gadgets. Kitty is the most elegant, but she sneaks food from the buffet and hides it in her beach bag, probably because she can't afford to buy it. Izzy goes to the hotel basement and gets lost. She faints and wakes up locked in a room without either food or water. There are 3 doors with some signs on them: the letter M, an arrow, and a heart. Suddenly, Izzy hears a voice from somewhere above.
You'll get out of here alive only through the 4th door. Good luck.
But there are only 3 doors. Izzy looks around from the floor to the ceiling. Where is the 4th door? Here it is. Each sign means a double figure. The hotel needs urgent repair work. Izzy sends her locksmith, Mike, to the construction supermarket to get the necessary tools. A couple of hours later, Izzy begins to panic. Mike never came back. She sends him a message, asking where he is. Mike replies,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to visit my sick grandfather on the way. He lives alone outside the village. There are no shops or any other infrastructure near his house, so I brought him some food and medicines.
Izzy is very touched. She agrees to postpone the repairs. Mike thanks her and sends her this picture. Izzy looks at the photo and realizes that Mike is a liar. How did she know? Take a closer look at the car. The word casino is reflected in the windscreen. But Mike said that his grandfather lived in a remote area. Izzy goes to check the work of her new cleaning lady. Can you spot 3 differences between these 2 hotel rooms? Here they are. And what about these 2 interiors? Can you spot 3 differences? Over here. Stuart works as a teacher in an old British magic school, which is located in a beautiful castle. Early in the morning, he's walking down the corridor. Suddenly, Stuart hears a loud noise from the class and goes there to check. He sees 3 students raising their wands. One of them is a fake wizard. Can you guess who? This guy, he has an ordinary twig instead of a magic wand. Stuart settles down the quarrel and goes to the dining hall. He chooses one of these 4 breakfast sets. But Stuart doesn't eat any meat or fish. Also, he's allergic to all the purple fruits and berries. Can you help him choose the safest option? First of all, let's exclude the first breakfast. This cotton cheese bagel looks good, but it contains salmon. The second set has toast with blueberry jam, which may cause an allergic reaction. As for the 4th option, fried bacon is hiding under this cute waffle. So, Stuart should choose the 3rd option. Although it contains some purple cabbage, nobody said that he's allergic to purple vegetables too. The cook offers Stuart a deal.
If you guess my riddle, you'll get a double dessert.
Stuart agrees. Here's the riddle.
What melts in a freezer?
The frost when the freezer is switched off. After breakfast, Stuart goes to the school greenhouse to say hi to Miss Palmer. She looks very confused. In the morning, 3 evil wizards opened a magical portal and snuck into the greenhouse. They took the shape of my plants, and now I don't know where they are. Can you help Stuart find them? Take a look at this cactus. It has no root. It just floats in the air without a pot. All the lilies have 6 petals, but this one only has 5. And this pumpkin has a watermelon pattern and color. Therefore, these 3 odd plants should be the wizards. Stuart walks down the Great Hall. Suddenly, an owl lands on his head and ruins his hairstyling. Stuart gets furious and asks 3 students standing nearby, "Whose owl is this?" Can you spot the owner of this bird? It's this guy. He has the same colored accessory as his owl. It's time for the flying lesson. 3 students, Wendy, Drake, and Blair, are about to have a race on their broomsticks. Can you spot who's cheating? Blair is casting a spell on her broomstick to make it go faster. Blair gets disqualified. Meanwhile, Drake and Wendy and Rob get ready to start the race. Can you guess who's gonna win? Drake has a broken broom, and Rob's position is wrong. It will take him more time to catch the broom and hit the road, so Wendy has the best chance of winning. Stuart begins Transfiguration lesson. He gives each of his students an apple and asks them to turn the fruits into stones. And then Stuart goes to the toilet. After a while, he returns and finds a huge toad sitting on his desk. Stuart questions 3 suspects. Among the students, Drake says, "I didn't do it. I was too busy with your task. Luckily, I made it." Bella says, "It was Magnus. I saw him catching a toad in the pond last night." And Magnus says, "It was Drake. He wanted to distract you because he didn't do his homework." Who's lying? Drake. Take a look at his desk. There's an apple in front of him, but he said that he succeeded in turning it into a stone. Stuart is riding a broom in the garden during his lunch break. Suddenly, someone throws a purple paint tube on his head. Stuart loses balance and falls. He finds 3 suspects and interrogates them. Billy says, "I was just sitting under this ancient oak and doing my homework." Bella says, "I was painting Billy's portrait. At some point, I noticed that my purple paint was missing. We both were here all the time." And Lily says, "I was just flying on my broom. I didn't even see any paint, sir." Who pranked Stuart? There's purple paint on Bella's hands, but it's okay because she was painting. Billy's outfit looks fine, but Lily has these odd smudges of purple paint on her hair. That's because she hid the tube under her witchy hat after the prank. Stuart is visiting the human world once a week because he loves one local bakery. But today, he finds out that he's not the only magical guy here. Can you guess why? Take a look at this pretty lady. She looks young, but her reflection in the mirror shows she's an old witchy lady. Every winter, a fancy ball takes place at the magic school. Several students perform a traditional dance as part of the opening ceremony. Suddenly, one of the dancers, Lily, loses her balance and falls in front of everyone. Stuart decides to investigate this case and finds out that someone had spilled olive oil on the dance floor on purpose. He interrogates 3 suspects. Harry says, "Sir, I didn't do it. Lily is my girlfriend. Why would I prank her so meanly?" Richard says, "Lily totally deserved that. She refused to go to the ball with me. I don't know who did it, but I'm grateful to this person." And Bella says, "Before the performance, I was taking selfies with my boyfriend. Look at the pictures, if you don't believe me. Now Stuart knows exactly who's guilty. What about you? It was Bella. Take a look at her selfies. She's wearing a witch bottle necklace and it's filled with greenish oil, but now it's empty. The magic school hired a photographer to take fancy pictures at the ball. This photo was taken at midnight, and this one half an hour later. Can you guess what happened here? This wizard didn't push her. He was actually trying to save her by raising his hands and casting a spell. And he succeeded, as we can see from the second picture. The winter ball is over. Stuart throws an after party for teachers at his apartment. Everything goes well, but the next day, Stuart finds out that someone had stolen the rarest and most expensive spell book from his secret library. Stuart has never told anyone about this room, but the lock isn't broken, which means that the thief knew a special spell to open the door. Only 4 guests possess this level of magic: Ambrose, Morgana, Rosamond, and Richard. Stuart rushes to the teacher's room. He questions all the suspects. Each teacher claims to have nothing to do with the robbery. Can you guess who's the thief? Ambrose. His coat is missing 1 gold button because he dropped it at the crime scene. Meanwhile, Ambrose looks through the spellbook and finds a potion recipe that allows teleporting anywhere. But unfortunately, the last 3 ingredients are encoded. Here's a hint to crack the first one. It's a flower that can be found between the nose and the chin. Any idea what it might be? Tulips. Here's the next hint. What kind of vegetable do people look forward to getting every month? Celery. And this clue will lead you to the final ingredient. What kind of room can you eat? Mushroom. Ambrose finishes the potion and teleports to an unknown place. In the evening, Stuart arranges an urgent Zoom call with his fellow wizards. They're all currently in the same city, but they don't have time to meet offline. Unfortunately, their video call gets interrupted by a stranger. Can you spot the imposter? All the wizards live in the same city, which means they're in the same time zone. The call takes place in the evening. It should be dark outside, but this guy is in the middle of a sunny day. Therefore, he's the imposter. Stuart goes to the magic market to buy special ingredients for a potion that will help him find the stolen book. 1 violet costs 10 bronze coins, and the price for 1 lily is 15 coins. Can you calculate the price of this 1 starflower? One starflower will cost 20 bronze coins. Each flower costs 2.5 coins per petal. And this particular starflower has 8 petals.